Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Draymond Green has a long history with the Warriors, and is a fan favorite who is grateful for the 4 championships he helped them win. For more than 3 years, Draymond Green has had problems with his relationships with people. The trade will most likely be the way for the Warriors to get a great player to help Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler, who have fit in perfectly with the Warriors. Draymond Green is close to leaving the Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are entering the final phase of the Stephen Curry era, but one more enormous trade could be on the menu for the Dubs this summer. While Jimmy Butler was a potentially excellent pickup for the Warriors depending on his long-term fit alongside Curry, it doesn't feel like a core trio of Curry, Butler, and Draymond Green is enough to challenge the best teams in the NBA, with Draymond being the reason why. Green is still an effective NBA player, but he's not the physical presence he once was as a prime-aged, two-way star. If the Warriors front office, namely, GM Mike Dunleavy Jr., has the strength to make the emotionally difficult decision to trade Draymond this summer for a younger and more dominant big man, Curry and Butler would have a real chance at contending. Draymond recently talked on his podcast about how the next couple of years represent the last segment of his and Curry's careers. "We got Jimmy Butler," Green said. After the trade, Curry looked at me and he said, "Man, it's crazy because it just dawned on me that this is it. This is the last ride." It was an emotional moment. What could be even more emotional is if Green is dealt and doesn't get the chance to retire a Warrior alongside Curry, but that could very well happen if Dunleavy is bold enough. Draymond's $26 million cap hit next season could be packaged alongside Jonathan Kuminga's next contract, in a sign-and-trade situation, to bring in a max-level big. What about Domantas Sabonis of the Sacramento Kings? Things are trending downwards in Sacramento after they moved De'Aaron Fox, and the 28-year-old Sabonis might be interested in joining a contender while he's in his prime. If the Kings are looking to rebuild, what else could they be looking to do at this point? Getting off of Sabonis' contract and acquiring a younger, cheaper potential star in Kuminga would be something to consider. And while Draymond doesn't fit with a rebuild, he'd be a good leader for Sacramento's younger players to learn from. Also, Sacramento could easily move Green in another trade, as a few contenders with cap space, Oklahoma City Thunder or Houston Rockets, would be interested in his services in exchange for valuable draft capital. It might seem wrong for the Warriors to trade Draymond, but if they could get a player like Sabonis by doing so, Golden State should absolutely be open to it for the sake of providing Curry and Butler with the best chance to contend. Golden State Warriors bold predictions after Jimmy Butler trade. The Warriors are bracing for some immediate impact coming from blockbuster trade acquisition, Jimmy Butler. The Golden State Warriors shed all the passive allegations prior to the trade deadline and made a blockbuster trade for Jimmy Butler. Butler may be 35 years of age, but he has a long track record of being an excellent postseason performer, and the Warriors are hoping that a Butler-Stephen Curry duo will be enough to make some noise in the loaded Western Conference. Alas, the Warriors are still sitting in the 10th spot out west, and they have to make the playoffs first before they start to count their chickens. The hope is that Butler will be enough to take them to the next level, but there lies plenty of uncertainty ahead of the Dubs in this regard. While no one knows what the future holds in a concrete manner, there is fun in having thought exercises of what will happen, especially after the Warriors made a rare blockbuster trade after long being seen as a team ripe for a trade of such magnitude. To that end, here are 3 bold predictions for the Warriors, both for this season and their imminent future. There is so much congestion in the middle of the Western Conference standings that, at this point, it's hard to pencil in any team for a playoff spot, for teams sitting within the 7 to 11 range. The Warriors, in fact, are coming off a disappointing loss to the shorthanded Dallas Mavericks, and it's not quite clear if they'll have the juice to compete with the Houston Rockets on the second night of a back-to-back. Nonetheless, having Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler should be enough for the Warriors to make it to the playoffs as a 7 or 8 seed. The problem, however, is that they will be running into a buzzsaw should they finish in either of those positions. The Oklahoma City Thunder are as dominant of a two-way outfit as we've seen, what with their elite ability to force turnovers, and the Memphis Grizzlies, Denver Nuggets, and Houston Rockets, the three likeliest teams to finish second in the standings, will pose a ton of problems for the Warriors. Again, having Curry and Butler means that the Warriors have a fighting chance. They always do. But in a bloodbath of a conference, only one team will make it through to the NBA Finals. And sadly, in this hypothetical future, the Warriors aren't that team, instead crashing out in the first round, much to the disappointment of their raucous fanbase. Dubs finally pull off a blockbuster Jonathan Kuminga trade. For years, many have brought up the possibility that the Warriors would trade Jonathan Kuminga away. But the Dubs have hesitated, and until now, Kuminga is on the team, although he's currently sidelined with an injury. In this hypothetical scenario where the Warriors lost in the first round, more moves will be in store for a Dubs team that already traded for Jimmy Butler, which means that they are all in on a win-now approach. With Kuminga being up for a new contract, the Warriors could very well decide to sign him to a huge new deal and trade him later down the line. A sign-and-trade could also be possible in the offseason, but that would hardcap the Warriors at the first tax apron. Signing him and then waiting for a few months before dangling him in a trade will be the best course of action for Golden State, which they will feel is a necessary move considering their previous moves. Heading into the 2021-22 season, there weren't too many who believed that the Warriors were going to win it all. But with Stephen Curry playing excellently, Jordan Poole blossoming into one of the best sixth men in the league, Andrew Wiggins becoming an all-star talent, and Klay Thompson returning to full health, the Warriors went all the way, with Curry, Draymond Green, and Thompson winning their fourth rings. Heading into the 2025-26 season, expectations surrounding the Warriors won't be too high as well, especially when they're coming off a first-round exit, in this hypothetical future. But there is room for growth in this current roster. Jimmy Butler will have a full offseason to work with Curry and Green. Brandon Podziemski and Moses Moody can still grow into more actualized version of themselves. Jonathan Kuminga will be bringing in a major reinforcement via trade. And all of that will coalesce into the perfect storm for the Warriors, allowing Curry to ride off into the sunset with ring number 5. Warriors could reunite with accomplished $35 million forward via buyout. While the Golden State Warriors failed to top the Los Angeles Lakers' blockbuster trade for Luka Doncic, they improved their roster by adding former Miami Heat superstar and six-time All-Star Jimmy Butler. Since getting traded to the Warriors, Butler has positively impacted the team, recording 2 brilliant two-way performances against the Milwaukee Bucks and Chicago Bulls. Still, there's no denying the Warriors are an undersized ball club, which may cause them to reunite an accomplished 6'10" forward on the buyout market. After going undrafted, Chris Boucher began his NBA career with the Warriors in 2017. Boucher appeared in the Raptors' 117-106 victory over the Lakers in mid-March, but didn't receive any playing time before or after that contest. On the bright side, the Oregon product won an NBA championship with the Warriors in June, allowing him to achieve team success that many fail to experience in year one. As a free agent in 2018, Boucher inked a deal with the Toronto Raptors, and the Castries, St. Lucia native's first season with the organization was memorable. Boucher only averaged 3.3 points per contest and 4.5 rebounds per contest in 28 games, but the Raptors prevailed in 16 playoff contests and hoisted the Larry O'Brien Trophy in June. As a 32-year-old pro, Boucher has proven he can add value to an NBA franchise. The 2019 NBA G League MVP averages 10.4 points and 4.3 rebounds per game with the Raptors this season, shooting 50% from the field and 37.1% from three. Although Boucher isn't the perfect solution to the Warriors' noticeable frontcourt issue, his serviceable perimeter shooting, valuable playmaking off the dribble, and consistent defensive effort could give Golden State a much-needed boost. Don't be surprised if the Dubs consider acquiring Boucher this season if he gets bought out by the Raptors.